Welcome to Trans Talks. This is Susan Marco, and I hope you find this conversation as engaging as I did. Have a great day and enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trans Talks. Today, I'm so fortunate to be sitting here with this beautiful woman, Livy Livingston, who is a physical therapist and functional medicine practitioner, really right around the corner from where my office is in Little Silver. So, she's very local to me, and I'm so happy that I met you, Livy, and that, we're fostering this, relationship, friendship, whatever direction we are going. And I'm really, really grateful. So what Livy does is she helps people to reclaim health from the inside out. And I don't want to forget to mention about your monthly wellness community, which we can get to a little bit later. But, I just want people to know that you are really invested in helping your patients, clients, whatever terminology is appropriate, that you're really in it for the right reasons. And I knew that from the minute I met you. So before I keep going, I could just talk on and on about you.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you for being here, and tell my whoever's watching or listening, who are you, Livy, and how do you do what you do?
okay. Well, thank you so much. And it's been so great to get to know you as well, Susan. And our monthly group loves you, and we can't wait to have you come back in July. And, I'll get into that later too. But one of the best parts of that is getting to meet other professionals who can help out from more of a holistic viewpoint and help myself as much as everybody else. And I always say that a lot of the stuff I'm doing is preaching to myself as well, and I think a lot of us, we're all doing self-help and growing, and I'm helping other people, but I have many areas to grow as well. So I'm grateful for you in my life as well.
Thank you.
Anyway, I am a physical therapist by trade, and I have been practicing for around 27 years. I've had Livingston Physical Therapy for almost 13 years in Little Silver by the train station. What makes us different from other physical therapy practices is that we still continue to maintain our one-on-one physical therapy sessions. A lot of practices, and unfortunately medicine in general, have been bought out by bigger companies, and it comes down to just the bottom line and the numbers, and clients become just a number, and they're treated maybe more by aides than the physical therapists themselves. So that's one aspect of my business I've really tried to stick to, is giving individualized care to clients so that we can really get to know them each day, really reassess, is their pain better? Is it worse? What happened? Is something else going on? So that they're not just going through their exercises with an aide who, of course, could be wonderful and, very willing to do the job, but not have the training and the experience of a licensed physical therapist. Mm-hmm. So I think that is a main thing that sets Livingston Physical Therapy apart from other practices, as well as the amount of manual therapy that we do, including massage and myofascial release and joint mobilizations and stretching and neuromuscular re-education. So we spend a lot of time not just on exercises, although exercises, of course, are very important, but really assessing your balance and your muscles and your posture and your flexibility, and what we can do each visit to get that better, and then teach you the tools to maintain it in between visits. So from the physical therapy side, I would say those are the big things that set us apart. We also deal with the whole person, the mind, the body. And I also think that's a huge tool that sets us apart from some other practices. So you may come in with shoulder pain, but then as we talk, we realize you have arthritis, or you have inflammation, or you have emotional stress or trauma, or you have things going on that also could be fueling the fire of your pain and your inflammation. And that, I think, in the past few years has been so fun for me to be able to really bring that aspect to clients that probably haven't gotten that at most other facilities, but also haven't even thought about that. Um, I think that's another thing that's also going on in the medical world. I'm not going to get on a rant about it, but there's just not time to spend with your practitioners anymore. And, people go for their physicals and they might have 15 minutes. And it's just not enough to get to the bottom of the picture, and myself included. I've gone before and my blood work looks great. My blood pressure's great. Everything's great, but I'm not doing great, or I'm not feeling great. And unfortunately, a lot of the general practitioners, they don't have the knowledge, but they really don't have the time to dig deeper into what is happening with you. And a lot of us, as we're aging and or not aging, younger, I just mean younger clients as well. Unfortunately, there's a lot of children with inflammatory disorders and things going on. So I've been able to communicate that with so many of my clients. I find a gift that I have in my practice is that I do have so much time with clients. I see people usually twice a week, at least, for physical therapy, for 45 minutes to an hour. So we have plenty of time for conversation. And that has led to so many wonderful things for myself and for my clients. I again see that as a two-way street. I gain a ton of stuff from my clients as well as that they gain from me. But what we are able to offer them is some of these functional medicine principles and other lifestyle management principles that they may not get elsewhere. So yes, you have your shoulder pain, you have your back pain, and we're going to treat that and do physical therapy and do exercises and do massage and do whatever we need to do. But how can we prevent that from happening again? Or how can we help your sleep? Or how can we help your digestion? Or, there's so many other things going on which might be compounding the issue. So that has been so great to bring into practice the past few years. And I just see so much change in clients, and clients are extremely grateful for that part of the practice, the motivation, the knowledge, and to be able to give them something else other than the physical therapy. Mm-hmm. So I guess that can lead me into other parts of my practice that I've added on in the past few years. And one of those is functional medicine or root cause evaluation. I know functional medicine is becoming a little bit of a term these days, but it's basically finding the root cause of what is going on with you. So again, if you can't lose weight, if you're tired, if you're, hair isn't as thick as it used to be, you don't have the energy you used to have, and you go to the doctor and everything's perfect, you don't know where to turn. And it does make me sad when I talk to people like this that actually don't really know where to turn, or don't even know that there are other options out there.
Right.
So, I started with the School of Applied Functional Medicine about 5 years ago, and it really has changed my own life. There was so much I learned that I had no idea either. And you don't know about chemicals and toxins and diet and sleep and stress. I think was one of the biggest things that I learned, how your cortisol and stress, it can kill you. Right. So, one reason, I have a lot of practitioners like you, Susan, come and speak to us because, we all have stress. We all can have immense stress. We can have different degrees of stress, but it is how you handle it and your baseline, how, one of the things that you teach us and other practitioners that I'm going to come speak to us. So, I again have learned so much myself, and I'm so grateful to have this knowledge now to be able to bring not only my physical therapy clients, but other people who want to come see me from a functional medicine or root cause assessment viewpoint, where I really, our first appointment is an hour and a half. And before that, I've gone through pages of paperwork that I send you and your blood work. And I really am ready to do a deep dive with you through everything to make to really evaluate why you're having symptoms and chronic symptoms or not thriving. We all should be able to thrive, and no matter what age we are. Another thing I don't like to hear is, well, I'm 50 or well, I'm 70. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean,
Right.
listen, certain things, listen, we're going to have, right? I mean, some are genetic, some aren't. Some of us get diseases, and that's fine. I'm not saying everybody's never going to have a disease, or never going to feel tired, or never going to have something happen to them, but we can bounce back from that, and we can do the best we can do, which I think is better than most of us know. And again, I really do think a lot of it is we don't have the knowledge, and I think a lot of doctors don't have the knowledge. A lot of nutrition, stress management, all of that, it's not covered in med school. It's still not covered in med school. I think it's slowly starting to come a little more mainstream, and hopefully 10 years from now or whatever, it will be part of your physical. But for now, those of us who are knee deep and passionate about it have to really, really spread the word, and try to get this out there. So that will lead me to Livy's Lifeline, which is a monthly wellness community that I started in April. And it's, I think a way that people can come together. It's $30 a month, so not too much to lay out. And it consists of one in-person event a month, which is the second Tuesday night a month, which Susan was our inaugural speaker for that. And that went over great. And I'm still practicing some of the things Susan taught us. And they've been wonderful. And then we have also a live with Livy Zoom every month, which I cover a topic. The one topic I covered was how to boost your GLP-1 naturally. So there's topics that either I come up with, or I am open to what the group would like to hear about. This month we are going to focus on, how to lower your stress levels and deal with stress. And then we also have a clean eating week every month. So the second week of every month, we try to focus on no processed foods, no ultra processed foods, no alcohol, giving up coffee if you'd like, gluten if you'd like, just trying to take 5 to 7 days to reset yourself. Because again, we all, including myself, have the best intentions, but then we start to slide. So I feel like if we take 1 week to kind of bring ourselves back to eating correctly, and then maybe putting new challenges into that week, we'll learn every week and see how our body is, and make, feel better with that. And I do partner with Heather from Taste and Technique for that week, and she is just amazing. So she prepares some whole foods that you can order. You, of course, do not have to. You can make your own, but it makes it a little bit of a nice break that week, that you can order food that is healthy, and it will be at your doorstep. So it takes a little stress off of that week of your life, and you'll be eating well. So I think that community is just amazing. Another thing I wanted to mention is I think a community together is such a great way to learn as well. So it's not only me saying what I want to say, or you, or the speaker that I have, but there is so much to be offered from every single person sitting there. So, the person next to you might have lupus that you may have, or they might have had a knee replacement, or they're going through menopause, or they have a child with ADHD. So they might be more of an expert on that than anyone else, because they've done a really deep dive into that. And let's be honest, you can't know anything better than if you've been through it yourself, right? I mean, we can be an expert. I can be an expert in what I am. I've treated patients for so many years. I can tell somebody what most of my total knees, end up like. I can tell you what you're like after back surgery. I can tell you, what your prognosis is with a herniated disc. But if I haven't lived through that myself, it's hard to tell you exactly how you're going to feel or how you're going to function. So
Sure.
this community, again, gives me back so much, and they teach. I just think we can learn from each other so much. It's a wonderful group of people, and I know it will grow even bigger. And we are so fortunate to have speakers like Susan and just so many wonderful people who really, we all have the same goal of just spreading love and health and mindfulness. And we just want everyone to thrive and feel great to the best of our ability.
Oh, I love all of that, That was amazing. What are some of the other topics that you have speakers coming in to?
So last month we had Kim from the Ayurvedic approach to digestion, Kimberly. So that was wonderful. That is from India. And so she really spoke a lot about, we all can have different digestions, I guess, or digestive tracks. So some people respond to warm food, some to cold food, eating within the seasons, different things like that. She did speak too a lot about stress and parasympathetic nervous system, which I speak about as well with digestion and really with everything. We heal in a parasympathetic nervous system. And unfortunately, most of us live, including myself, in a sympathetic nervous system. Right. So, again, I think that's a huge goal for myself as well as the group, is just bringing in people who can help all of us to take everything down a notch and just have our baseline living level a little calmer. So when life gets crazy, we respond a little less and, have more tools in our toolkit to respond. Also, Meryl is going to be coming. Susan's coming back in July, and then by popular demand. And then Meryl will come, I think, in September to do the EFT tapping for us. Right. So that is going to be amazing. And Kira's coming this month, next week, to talk about heart rhythm meditation. And Kira has really become an expert on that. And we are so excited to have her. So that's the lineup for the next few months. I'm also going to do some events on toxins. So I would like to do a makeup event where we're going to try to get clean makeup samples. And then my friend, who's a makeup artist, will teach us how to apply our makeup, but using clean samples, because, we can just, there's so many toxins in the world, I guess is the point. So we have to try little by little. I think all of these life transformations we're trying to make, they can seem, okay, it's just too much, I'm not going to do anything. So if we can do little by little, okay, can we swap out our lipstick for a better one, or our body lotion, or our sunscreen, or our spatula, or our cookware, and, right, do filtered water, little things. If you look at the whole thing, you're going to be overwhelmed. But so anyway, that will be a fun event, I think, where we can maybe change up some of our makeup and still look, beautiful and younger, and have Gina come in and work with us there. So there's a combination. And then we're also going to do an event at a Taste and Technique where Heather will teach us how to cook some great meals. She actually did a Zoom with us as well, going over a sheet pan dinner, and that was just wonderful. And she gives you little tricks of the trade that I would not know otherwise. But we were going to do an event with her probably this summer on healthier appetizers that we could bring to the beach, because again, we're all real people, we're all going to parties, we're all, I am not perfect, and that's not what it's meant to be. It's, if you want to have a drink, if you want to have chips and salsa, that's fine. It's about the balance. So she's going to help us maybe bring some healthier, not perfect, appetizers to the beach. And we might team up with somebody who sells organic wine. So again, have your wine, but it's a little healthier and things like that. So it's a combination of, presentations at my office as well as, fun events where we can learn and just, little by little change our lifestyles.
I honestly really have to give you kudos because I've worked with a lot of people in my life that it was all or nothing. And, that's where people fall through the cracks because life does happen. Most of us are busy and don't have a lot of time to invest or, that like we don't devote a lot of time
Right.
to that because we just the bucket is full. We've got the kids and we've got relationship and we've got work and we've got all the things that pull us away from all of that. And so I love that idea of like 1 week of clean eating because that is setting a tone that maybe will inspire you to want to do that more rather than being in a situation where you feel like, oh my God, I have to do this 24/7 all the time. Yes, that's optimal, right?
Exactly. Right.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, and also acknowledging that our environment, our thoughts, there's toxins everywhere. And we learn, and that's what really makes you very holistic. And that what you said about functional medicine, it is becoming the new buzzword, right? Like at first it was holistic, then it was alternative, then it was complementary, then like we keep reinventing, the wheel, but the wheel is actually how can we treat ourselves as whole beings and approach the things, like our physical ailments from all directions so that we get, real healing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I love that about you and about your practice. And I think some of my peeps are going to want to know, where do you get your energy from?
Oh, everybody asks me that. And I say I'm blessed with it and I was born with it, I think.
Hmm.
I don't know. I've always been like this. And I don't know. A lot of people comment on that, and it really is just who I am. I don't take anything. I don't, although I do say I sleep as much energy as I have. I try to get my 7 to 8 hours sleep, and I make that a priority. And I've always required my sleep. I don't know if that's part of it, but I think part of it is just the blessing of how I came out.
Yeah, you got good genes, girl.
Yes, yes.
um, so if somebody were interested in working with you or in your wellness lifestyle program, how would they reach out to you? How do they find you?
Sure. So on my website, I have links for the monthly wellness event, of course, about my practice and physical therapy and functional medicine, as well as all of the speakers. And there are options to come to the speakers as a member and then also a non-member rate. So if you're not ready to commit to the group, but you maybe saw a speaker that looks good to you or you just want to try it out,
Mm-hmm.
that's an option as well instead of committing for the monthly membership. I am on Instagram where I post a lot of motivation and stuff about what I do. So that's Livingston PT LSNJ.
Great.
And then email is livingstonpt14@gmail.com. And then you can always call the office at 732-530-1661. And really, I give my cell phone number out half the time, but the phone's forwarded to myself. So you'll find me, I'm sure.
Yeah, and
But you
it'll
can
be in
message
the
me.
it'll also be in the show notes as well. So
Okay,
people can
great.
refer to that. But also I'm curious, I think some people these days, right, these challenging times that we're living in right now, um, do you uh, do you accept insurance for all of your services for just the PT part? Like, how does that work?
So I accept Medicare for PT. And then I'm out of network with other insurances for PT. But I do encourage people to call me because I'll check their benefits and kind of let them know, what the out of pockets. I always check everything first and let them know what the out of pocket would be. And I do submit to the insurance so that they don't have to kind of pay up front and then submit, because I know that becomes a burden for a lot of people. From the functional medicine side, that is out of pocket,
Mhm.
and the monthly membership is out of pocket as well.
Sure. Anything else you want uh, people to know?
I was just looking. I made some notes. I guess one thing that I also also wrote down is a part of functional medicine and a part of my wellness group is trying to prevent disease before it happens. And I think that's a hard mindset to think about, right? Especially those in their 30s, 40s, 50s, where you're probably feeling pretty good. Maybe your 50s, you're starting, if you're a woman, not to feel so good. But, um, you know, things like, say, diabetes, your numbers could be creeping up 10 years before your glucose goes, a number in the wrong direction. And again, sometimes that's not being picked up on in your traditional care. If your numbers are within, the numbers, which are really the ranges for everyone in the United States, which is not necessarily the healthiest population, maybe that's not where you exactly want to be, 1 point below where then you're going to have a diagnosis. So it's hard to wrap your head around that. But if you can start to make some of these changes before you have a problem or before you're not feeling well, that is so much better than once you're diagnosed with something. I mean, the amount of people I speak to who have stomach issues, just either friends or current patient, physical therapy clients. And again, a lot of them think it's just the way it's going to be and that they live with that. And listen, our gut, as I'm sure everyone is hearing now, because that's all over the place too, it's our second brain and it's our immune system. So it's huge. So, if you're having any small issues, try to get to the bottom of it. There are so many practitioners out there, and it can be hard to weed out, but, you know, just try to take care of yourself before it becomes a problem. Of course, there is a ton you can do once problems arise, but if you can try to make changes in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you will be so much better off. Don't wait until you get a diagnosis, or if you're not feeling well and everything comes up looking fine on your blood work and everything, try to fight that battle for yourself. Another thing I'd like to say, I do offer a complimentary 15-minute consultation for my root cause functional medicine. And I think a lot of practitioners do that because it is money to lay out and you want to make sure you're a good fit. So, and I think you will offer that as well, Susan, right?
Absolutely.
Something like that. So if you are a little bit lost and you're trying to find somebody who can help you, look on practitioners websites, because I think a lot of people in the holistic world offer a complimentary phone call first to see what's going on with you. Most of us are not trying to just get your money and not help you. So if we don't think we're going to be a good fit for you, maybe we have other recommendations, or we'll just kind of say to try the next person. But I think that's part of my group. There are so many people with so many gifts out there who can help you. Mm-hmm. So you will find them, especially if you surround yourself by the right people and, get into the world like myself and Susan. We all have so many practitioners to offer, and that's why it's so great Susan's doing these trans talks, and that's why I'm hosting so many people at my office, because I want people to know who's out there. And I have a patient in particular that reached out to Susan after she spoke to us in April, and he is so happy now, and he would have probably never found Susan otherwise. So I know not everyone jives with everybody. So maybe there were some people that didn't jive with Susan, or it didn't resonate with them, and that's fine. And the next person might resonate with them. And, that's a goal, is that somebody's going to be sitting there and say, oh my gosh, this really hit home with me. Or I think I can do this. This is one thing. I think I can do this 5 minute meditation that Susan sent. And that is how I'm going to start, to change my journey.
Yeah, and timing is a big part of it also. We find what I believe anyway, we find what we need when the time is right. And then it's up to us to take action in that direction. So I hope that I'm just going to say to you that are watching or listening, I hope that you're inspired by Livy and all that she offers and her incredible energy. And thank you so much for taking the time to come and chat with me. And um, stay tuned because, there's going to be more. And look forward to your feedback and, your feelings about this trans talk and any of the other conversations that I've been fortunate enough to have. So thanks again, Livy, and I'll see everybody soon.
Thank you, Susan.